everyone, and welcome to a very special episode. We're doing a quick, short recap on a couple of movies we've seen because we've seen so many really good movies lately.
Where are we?
And some not
this
so
is
good.
Weird, man.
Oh, sorry.
What's going on?
I'm used to this. This is my house. Our studio was down. Asaad broke it. So we're here at my house with my Christmas tree. And we're going to talk to you really quickly. We wanted to give a little short recap about Saltburn and Eileen. Two movies that
should we do them both together?
Yeah.
Oh, I guess so. Yeah, we should. Okay, all right. Where do you want to start?
Let's start with Saltburn because...
Where do you go to the bathroom in here?
In the tree.
Okay.
Yeah, it fertilizes it and keeps it watered.
Oh, okay.
Except for this tree is drunk because my pee is 100% tequila.
Do you miss our studio a little bit?
I don't. I think this is very comfortable.
You have a lot of weird fans. You sure you wanted to show them the inside of your house?
I have weird fans?
Shouldn't say that out loud. No, your fans are great. Okay, Saltburn. Where do we start with Saltburn?
What the hell? I mean, listen, if I have fans, I'm doing okay. I didn't know I had fans. Y'all, I saw this movie on a whim because it looked very striking. I had no idea what it was about. I'll give you a quick summary.
Yeah, and before you do, I think it was the winner of a couple of our trailer trashes, by the way. We were both excited to see this.
Both very excited to see it. Because if you haven't seen the previews, they're just like really stunning looking visually.
You're talking about Jacob Elordi, right?
Yeah, and that's why I did this. Okay, so this is the quick summary. A student at Oxford, played by Barry Keoghan, one of my favorite actors, finds himself drawn into the world of a charming and aristocratic.
How do you think he did there?
Probably 0 out of 10. I wrote it too, guys. I wrote it. Haven't read it out loud. Aristocratic classmate who invites him to his eccentric family's sprawling estate for a summer never to be forgotten. Asaad did not like this movie, and I really liked it. It's a weird one. It's divisive. I wouldn't tell just anyone to go see it because it certainly has some interesting moments.
I'm a fan. I'm usually a fan of high art bullshit, and this was high art bullshit.
It definitely was that. I agree.
It was high art bullshit. Shot really well. Shot really pretty.
Yeah.
Story was not there for me. It was 19 different stories and didn't finish any of them. It was like Cruel Intentions and Talented Mr. Ripley had an untalented baby. You know, loved everyone involved in it though. I do love this director. I do love the actors in it. Anytime I can get Rosamund Pike, aka Evil Emily Blunt, in the film. With Jacob Elordi.
Ooh.
Are you a Elordi hive?
I am now. So I had not seen him in anything prior to this.
You don't watch Euphoria?
Not really, no. I've seen it. You showed me like bits and pieces of it, episodes here and there, but yeah. I'm not a Euphoria stan.
Okay.
So this
you like watching high school kids bang and do drugs?
I'm sure I would love it. It's just a little dark for me. And I thought he did such a great job, and I'm in on him now. I was like, oh, he's a good ass actor. I saw the trailer for Priscilla, and I thought he looked like he did a really fantastic job in that. And I don't think that he just played this part so well. But we're talking about the wrong person here. I mean, I think the whole cast was great, but Barry Keoghan was in Banshees of Inisherin and was
there goes that dream.
Oh, broke my heart in that film. And I could just watch those two look into each other's eyes all day. I was fully bought in. As Asaad said, just stunning visually. The cast was phenomenal. Sure, I would say if I had to do a quick, Rose and Thorn, it's everything about the movie, and my thorn would be maybe, there was some shock factor stuff added just for shock factor. Close-ups on gross images of, throw up or, vomit, whatever. That's a nicer word, vomit, I think is the...
That's the adult word. We wouldn't use that in regular life. What would
you say? Throw up.
Would you say throw up?
Puke?
Oh, you know what word we don't use anymore as adults?
Oh, no.
That reeks.
Speak for yourself. My brothers both definitely say that word still.
That reeks, man. This film reeked.
I don't agree. Okay. I thought this film was great. It was fun. And the pace was great. The acting was great. The visuals were stunning. We got a peek behind the curtain of this upper crust, elite British world, and
how you grew up?
Just how I grew up. Reminded me of home with mummy and daddy. Daddy.
If we're going with the visuals of this and just how it looks to film it, you can tell they had a lot of fun in this film.
I had a lot of fun in this film.
Characters to where they're just like 90% of the movies at this rich estate with a bunch of good-looking people playing tennis.
Yes.
And then that was probably one of the best parts of the film for me, when I could see they were actually having fun filming it. The film wanted to do a lot of things. And normally I'll always side with, like, I'm glad this film got made, and I am. I'm very glad this film got made, because it's high art. And the cinematography was beautiful in it. The actors were really, really phenomenal in it. And randomly, I know, like, the crux of every movie and the reason why you make a movie is the story first. But normally as a watcher, as a moviegoer, I'm not tripping. I'm like, I know a lot of good stories. Show me some pretty shit. For some reason, I was like genetically altered to like this film.
Yeah.
And it just landed very, very short for me. I'm cool if you want to do like sensationalism. I'm cool if you want to like really evoke emotion. But if it all doesn't pay off in the end, which it just never came full circle in this film. But it's one of the films I've seen where I'm like, I want everybody that was in this film to keep doing more things. You know?
Yeah.
Make another film like this. I'm sure you'll nail it. I'm sure I want to see Jacob Elordi and Barry Keoghan, Rosamund Pike. Who is a promising young woman? Yeah.
Carey Mulligan just playing a one day, came in and swung for the fences and just killed it. Like, I think overall I really enjoyed it. Asaad didn't as much, and I would give it a quick gummy rating of
what?
2.
Okay.
You could totally be high and watch this movie and be like, what is happening?
Yeah, and if you're a swimmer, if you're a fan of our pod, Sarah has a new category: top 10 movies not to see with your dad.
This is it. This is one of them for sure.
Not to see with your father.
Do not go see with your dad. And if you don't have anything else to say on that, I would talk about the movie we saw 2 nights ago.
Eileen.
Our
Lord and Savior Anne Hathaway.
Another divisive movie. We walked out of that movie. I don't have a quick summary. Do you want to summarize it for our friends?
Ooh, a young girl in the 19-somethings.
Okay, strong start.
60s, 70s?
Yeah, perhaps.
I don't know. Has nothing but toxic men around her life, and has no representation of what a female should be. Has no female friends. Has no mother in the house.
Her mom died. Her dad's an alcoholic.
Yes.
And she works at a prison, and her life is very small and very gray.
Eileen. She's Eileen until she sees Anne Hathaway's character, who comes from, I forget where, Oxford or Harvard.
She said she's lived in New York and spent some time in London, so that explains her weird fucking accent for no reason.
Yes, but bottom line, when she comes into this movie, this young Eileen finally sees another female. Right? And this female is everything, what the 90s taught us? Maybe even earlier than that. The 60s taught us what a female should be,
Okay.
In a man's purview,
yes.
And this young Eileen gets to see an actual female around her, and she's smart, and she treats men with disrespect. She talks back, she smokes, she's pretty, she does what she wants. And Eileen, she's the exact opposite of young Eileen, who is so captive by her father, her job, and a small town and a small life that doesn't mean anything. Then she just sees this big Anne Hathaway
who's
girl,
just so glamorous.
Who's just so glamorous and pretty, and they become good friends in a short amount of time.
Yeah, they begin a relationship of sorts.
Yeah.
Very, very, very flimsy, but Eileen holds on to it very, very tightly. I think it's more of a quick, easy, like, oh, well, let's go grab a drink for Anne Hathaway's character. Eileen is played, sorry, I was looking up, Eileen is played by Thomasin McKenzie.
What a cool name.
Yeah, very cool. She's Kiwi, and she was in Last Night in Soho. That's probably what most people know her from.
What was the Off the Grid movie she did with Ben Foster?
Oh, that movie she was so good in that, yeah.
Yeah, I forgot what that was called.
She's got so many, Leave No Trace, I believe is what it was called.
Really good.
So this movie I just walked out of, and it didn't land any kind of plane for me. I was very confused as to why it was made. But Asaad was really riveted by it. So explain to us what you really liked about it.
Really enjoyed it. Really, it took time to tell a story of a person that no one would ever tell. And I think that's really where film is right now. It's like taking time telling stories that we need to hear that we didn't think about of the people that we needed to hear it from. And they took this small, young teenage. No, sorry, I guess she was in her early 20s.
Yeah, she's young.
But even looks even younger with
she
all
looks
the old
very
men around
young,
her, who has nobody, to talk about what it's like to become a woman, what it's like feeling like a woman in this place. Mm-hmm. And as soon as, and the movie's good enough for me just discovering that story and chipping away at that, then it takes a huge, huge, bold turn at the beginning of the third act that I thought, wow, man, the turn worked for me, but it stood out how bold the decision was in the film when they had already crafted this really, really engaging story of someone we would overlook if we saw them in public. Then it took a big left turn that I could definitely see why it lost some people, because it turned into a compleply different movie.
That's why it lost me, honestly.
Yeah, but I
and
really
we won't
enjoyed
spoil
it.
it, but it was just a weird turn, and I just felt like, did they just decide to do this on a whim and like threw it together last second? It just felt very half-baked for me. I do believe I think it was a book first that was adapted, but I could be totally wrong.
Everything's a book, right? Everything's either a book or a superhero?
Yeah, for sure.
Right.
It missed for me. I think we had a lot, and this isn't why, but it's definitely added to it. We had accents that were just all over the place. This girl, who's a great actress, Thomasin McKenzie, is Kiwi, as I mentioned, and was trying to do a Boston accent, and then that was totally muddled, and Anne Hathaway's half from here and half from there, and didn't make sense. And it started off as like a very quiet indie movie, and then quickly took a turn and kind of became like a weird, quiet horror film or thriller film. Wasn't for me.
Can we do a fact check really quick?
Yes.
I want to see if where you're looking is listing last names first, because it definitely sounds like her name's Mackenzie Thomason. Let's see. Nope, you're right.
Thomasin McKenzie.
Okay, all right, cool.
Really talented young actress. I hope
She's
to see
really
her in a
good.
lot more stuff.
Yeah.
She's great. So I gave this movie 5 gummies. I really, truly just did not care for it one bit.
If you're Asaad, do not go see Saltburn, go see Eileen.
And if you're Sarah, go see Saltburn, don't go see Eileen.
I would venture to say, we helped nobody in this pod.
True.
Yeah. And I think our pod listeners tend to side with Sarah more. So if you spend the money on Saltburn and don't like it, Sarah will reimburse you.
No!
Processing fee, interest fee, Airbnb fee, cleaning, processing, whatever that is. Thanks. Is that what else? Do we have anything else?
Thank you guys for joining us for this quick recap. I hope you liked it, and let us know if you'd like a little more bite-sized pieces like this.
You got some food in here or what, man?
Yeah, that's the joy of being in my house and not at the studio. Go on. Bye.